Guys, what's going on? Zach here from the Underground Strength Gym as well as undergroundstrength.tv, and want to talk to you guys about the power of year-round training in season and off season, whether you're a competitive athlete in high school or college or even middle school or not competitive. And I wrote about this in my book, The Encyclopedia of Underground Strength, about there is a mental toughness and a unique dedication and commitment level that comes from, as well as confidence that comes from training year-round versus the on-again and off-again training that a lot of athletes tend to do. Parents tend to get very worried and concerned when the sports season starts. They think that suddenly their son or daughter will have no time, and they get very, very worried as if the world is about to end. When through experience, past 12, 13 years of working with athletes year in and year out, what I've seen is that the beginning, maybe you don't notice such a big drop off, but about 2 to 3 weeks into the season, the athlete starts to experience a little bit of bumps and bruises, starts to experience a decline in strength, a decline in power, and a little bit of an overall decline in performance. Most sports seasons are about 12 weeks in length. It really depends if you're a varsity starter, perhaps a freshman, and then some of these recreation programs go a little bit longer than 3 months. So they might be more around the 14, 15 week mark. So that first few weeks, the athlete is feeling good, but about 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in even, they start to experience a slight decline in performance. By the end of the second month, they are really noticing it. They start to lose not just the physical performance, the explosiveness, the strength endurance, the ability to remain strong, remain explosive, but they also begin to experience some psychological declines in performance. They get a little bit less confident in themselves. They start to second guess and doubt their performance, and they start looking of what competition, perhaps can I avoid? Should I be, I'm a wrestler. Should I be cutting weight? I'm a football player. I'm not sure what I could do. And they start really getting worried about it. And then the way sports work is the most important time of the season is at the end of the season when the competition arises. So if you're a football player, we're getting into playoffs. Same thing with soccer, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, you name it. And same thing with wrestling. So by the time the end of the season comes, they're actually performing at their worst. They're at their weakest. They've likely accumulated some injuries, some bumps and bruises, things that can't be addressed because you're no longer training. You're no longer with an experienced strength and conditioning coach. You're not doing any kind of recovery. You're just going through the skills and drills and the repetitive practice of that sport. So you're probably building up some overuse injuries as well. So now we have a decline in physical performance as well as a decline in confidence. And the two of them go hand in hand, start second guessing things. And all little things in training count. Everything from the training to the recovery to the confidence building that a coach can give the athlete, building up confidence with a pep talk, going over some mistakes they made, helping them feel better if they've been injured, no matter how small that injury is, or even helping them work around an injury, or if they have experience in rehab exercises, then they could help them heal an injury. So those are the most successful athletes, the ones that train year-round and train in season and off-season. And if you're a parent and you think, well, this is going to be very hard, there's going to be no time. Well, of course there's time. There's absolutely time. There's probably in any experienced strength and conditioning facility, you can find athletes who have extremely high grade point averages or grade point percentages that are being very successful, training in season with the sport, as well as lifting and doing recovery methods with the strength and conditioning coach, and still maintaining grades. The only difference is those kids are just doing the harder things. They might have to stay up late that one day out of the week that they train to get their homework done. They have to be more efficient and effective with their time, spend less time on the computer, less time on their cell phones, smartphones, and so forth. So these little things that are hard to do are extremely critical to do. And then at the end of the season, when it's competition time, qualifying time, we see a clear difference in those who continued to train versus those who didn't. Where do you see the clear difference? The team is losing, by one touchdown or several baskets in basketball. The swimmer is losing by fractions of a second. The wrestler tends to lose in overtime or criteria overtime, or is getting hurt and starting to second guess themselves and feeling banged up. I notice these things all the time. The kids that continue training year round, they succeed at a higher level than those who do not. So if you're a parent, this is your time where you don't say, it's going to be too tough, because then you are teaching your son or daughter to bail out on the things that are challenging. You don't want to do that. You want to support them and say, you know what? It's going to be challenging. You're going to find a way to get to your strength and conditioning coach once a week, even if that means 20 to 30 minutes at a pop. And we've done that before. We've had athletes who show up and do about 15, 20, maybe 25 minutes, probably half of which is training, the other half of which is recovery and mindset. And those are the ones that succeed at the most. And that's what coaches, a real coach who cares, wants to see athletes doing. You train year round. So that goes for those of you that are in the competitive sports, the team sports or individual sports from middle school through college. And that goes the same for those that are beyond that, training in things like obstacle course races and recreational activity. Training is something that's to be done year round. Otherwise, you have the yo-yo effect. You get strong, you get weak, and you're detrained. Then you have to build yourself back up, then you stop, and you get weak again and lose confidence again. And it's an up and down yo-yo, which is almost the same as not training at all. So there's no way that an athlete can remain strong and explosive and confident unless he's training for those qualities. So if you stop training for them, you cannot keep them or continue to improve upon them. I'm Zach Evnesh from the Underground Strength Gym in New Jersey. You can check us out at undergroundstrengthgym.com, or if you're not nearby, go to undergroundstrength.tv. Take care, guys.